British folk legend Wizz Jones has passed away at the age of 86. His death was confirmed by his son, Simeon Jones, in a heartfelt Facebook statement on April 27, 2025, just 2 days after Wizz had celebrated his 86th birthday. According to the statement, Wizz had been in poor health for several months and passed away peacefully at Trinity Hospice in London. Simeon wrote, "His loss has left a huge hole in the lives of our family and has robbed the music world of one of its precious treasures." Wizz Jones was, for more than 6 decades, an underappreciated yet foundational figure in the British folk music scene. His influence ran deep, inspiring generations of musicians without ever chasing the commercial spotlight. He was a quiet revolutionary, someone who carved out a unique path with nothing more than a guitar, a voice, and a deep love for storytelling through song. Cause of death. While Wizz Jones's family confirmed that he had been in declining health for several months before his passing on April 27, 2025, they did not publicly disclose a specific medical diagnosis. His son, Simeon Jones, noted that his father's health had deteriorated rapidly in the months leading up to his death, and he spent his final days at Trinity Hospice in London. Given his age of 86, it's plausible that age-related conditions such as heart disease, cancer, or neurodegenerative disorders may have contributed to his decline. However, without an official statement specifying the cause, any assumptions remain speculative. Despite his health challenges, Wizz Jones remained dedicated to his music, performing his final concert on February 28, 2025, at the Ivy House in London. His commitment to his craft, even in his final months, underscores his passion and resilience. Born Raymond Ronald Jones on April 25, 1939, in Thornton Heath, South London, Wizz came from a working-class family. His mother gave him the nickname Wizz, inspired by his childhood love of magic and card tricks. By the time he was a teenager, Wizz was already enamored with music. He discovered blues and early rock and roll records while browsing Kennard's department store in Croydon. Teaching himself to play guitar, he formed his first band, the Wranglers, in 1957. But Wizz's life would take a turn away from the conventional. Enchanted by the tales and Bound for Glory by Woody Guthrie and On the Road by Jack Kerouac, he began hitchhiking around Europe and North Africa, busking in the streets of Paris and sharing music with a bohemian circle that included old friends like Ralph McTell. In 1960, while living in Cornwall, he was featured by the BBC's Tonight program in a segment about young beatniks. It was the beginning of something special, a musician emerging from the margins to become a quiet giant. Though his musical career didn't launch immediately, things began to shift when skiffle star Chas McDevitt encouraged him to record Bob Dylan's Ballad of Hollis Brown in 1964. While the single didn't break into the charts, it established Wizz's name among musicians as a masterful guitar picker. Keith Richards once said, "He taught me cocaine, the song, not the dope," while Eric Clapton reportedly studied Wizz's fingerpicking technique at his gigs. Such high praise from rock icons reflects the depth of his influence. Jones collaborated with many of British folk's finest. In 1966, he released 16 Tons of Bluegrass with banjo player Pete Stanley. Later, he teamed up with Clive Palmer, formerly of the Incredible String Band. These collaborations helped cement his place in the core of the UK folk revival. In 1969, Wizz was signed to United Artists, though the label poorly promoted his first solo album. The 1970 release was followed by the legendary Me, issued through a smaller label. In 1972, he toured with folk supergroup Pentangle, leading to a record deal with CBS and the John Renbourn-produced album Right Now. That record featured his wife Sandy Wedlake on banjo, the woman he married in 1963 and remained with for life. His songwriting confidence grew steadily. On his 1973 album When I Leave Berlin, the title track spoke of divided friendships across the Berlin Wall. Decades later, in a full-circle moment, Bruce Springsteen opened his 2012 Berlin concert by performing that very song, turning it into an anthem of reunification. Transition to a video snippet of Springsteen's Berlin performance, if possible. Despite never chasing fame, Wizz kept touring and recording. He remained a regular on the European folk circuit, with particularly loyal fans in Germany. His appearance in the 1992 documentary Acoustic Routes, narrated by Billy Connolly, reintroduced him to a younger generation. In later years, he often performed alongside his son, Simeon, a multi-instrumentalist, and even brought his grandson, Alfie, on stage. The three generations of Joneses performed together at Wizz's final concert on February 28, 2025, at the Ivy House in London. That show marked the end of a career that was never about headlines, only heart. Simeon later shared what were likely Wizz's final public words to an audience. "Thanks to all the people, all over the world in fact, that heard my songs and my guitar playing, and came to my gigs for all those years. Thank you very much." Though it's uncertain if these were his literal last words, they beautifully capture the gratitude Wizz felt for his audience and the humility that defined his character. Wizz's health had been failing for several months before his passing. While the family has not revealed a specific diagnosis, Simeon shared that his father's condition had rapidly deteriorated. It's reasonable to speculate that age-related illnesses such as heart disease or cancer may have contributed, but the true cause remains private. What is clear is that Wizz Jones remained committed to his music to the very end. Simeon added, "Wizz was worried about disappointing the audience with his now weak singing voice, but even more worried about letting them down by not showing up. That sentiment speaks volumes about the kind of man Wizz was. Dedicated, gentle, and driven by the simple desire to keep sharing music, even when his body was failing. Wizz is survived by his wife Sandy, their daughter, and 2 sons. He also leaves behind an entire community of musicians and fans who will continue to draw inspiration from his vast body of work. Wizz Jones may never have been a mainstream celebrity, but his fingerprints are all over modern folk music. His quiet brilliance, raw talent, and uncompromising artistry shaped the sound of a movement and touched hearts around the world. If you've never listened to Wizz Jones, this is your moment. Discover the soulful guitar lines, the gentle voice, and the lyrical poetry that made him a legend among those who truly know folk. Thank you for watching this tribute to the life and legacy of Wizz Jones. If this story moved you, please consider giving it a like and sharing it with others who love music that speaks from the soul. Drop a comment below and let us know your favorite Wizz Jones song, or simply share a memory or tribute. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dive tributes to the musicians who shaped our world.